So we will talk about congenital adrenal hyperplasia today. You already know this three part of adrenal gland: zona glomerulosa, fasciculata, and reticularis. So, and you know this zona glomerulosa is required for synthesis of aldosterone. And here is aldosterone and 18 hydroxylase is present here. You can see. Here is 17 hydroxylase. So remember 17 hydroxylase here, 18 hydroxylase. So that you will remember. So this is salt. As you go inside, it will become sweet. So this is salt, means this is aldosterone. These are glucocorticoid and sex corticoid. So you can see this. This is the main enzyme. You will see this is the cytochrome 450 system. I have been telling about this. So this is the main enzyme that will actually responsible for hydroxylation reaction. We will see here. So this group of enzyme will be there for hydroxylation. Cytochrome 450 system of enzyme will be there. So these are the synthetic pathway you must have gone through, you must have studied. So you can see cholesterol will convert into pregnenolone by this enzyme. So this is just actually cholesterol side chain is will break. It is side chain cleavage enzyme, SCC. This is side chain cleavage enzyme that happens in mitochondria. Must have studied this. So after this, everything happens. From pregnenolone, everything is synthesized. Okay. After this, after side chain cleavage. So pregnenolone will convert into progesterone, then say 11 through this reaction, through actually 7 beta dehydrogenase. We will talk about this synthesis through this chart. You can see, remember this tuning fork. If you remember this tuning fork, you will remember the whole synthetic pathway. And in this tuning fork, so I have ignored this pregnenolone. From pregnenolone also there will be pathway, but I have ignored my pregnenolone part. So from pregnenolone also there will be synthesis of something. So this is enzyme 3-beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase, 3-beta hydroxy. So because of this also there will be disorder. Adrenal hyperplasia will also because of this, but we are not going to talk about this. We are going to talk about this 17 alpha hydroxylase, 11 alpha hydroxylase deficiency, and then 21 alpha hydroxylase deficiency. These three deficiencies are higher. Among these three also, this is the highest yield. 21 alpha hydroxylase is the highest yield. So we have seen, just look at this tuning fork. So in this tuning fork, if you put the straight line through this alpha hydroxylase, this will end up in sex corticoid. If you put this line like this L line, so this will through this 17 alpha hydroxylase, 21 alpha hydroxylase, it will end in cortisol. And through this directly, if you see directly through this 21 hydroxylase, 11 hydroxylase, it will end in aldosterone. So cortisol, aldosterone, and then sex corticoid. Remember, and in this pathway there is a molecule called 17 hydroxyprogesterone. This molecule will be very important. So you know this enzyme is not there, so this will be low. Okay, in 17 alpha hydroxylase deficiency, this will be low. So if this enzyme is deficient, this will be high. So you can remember this picture. This is a brain map I am providing you with. So whenever you see, I will tell you this 17 hydroxylase deficiency is there, you have to remember this pathway. Blockade here. So blockade here will cause block sex corticoid synthesis, low sex corticoid synthesis. Now blockade here will cause high sex corticoid synthesis. Blockade here, blockade actually here happens. Actually here will cause what? Sex corticoid plus aldosterone. So you have to understand this way. So this is the synthesis you can understand through this. So this is molecular changes you can see. So this cholesterol branch, debranch because of side chain cleavage, that is, you have seen this enzyme 11A. This is 11A. All you can see, all is cytochrome system. You can see CYTR all cytochrome system. These are cytochrome system. Many cytochrome systems are there. So this changes, you can see breaking of this. This will form this progesterone. This is progesterone. Now you can see progesterone will convert into this after 21 hydroxylation here. Now again hydroxylation 21, again 11 hydroxylase form this, and then this 18 hydroxylase 18 hydroxy straight dehydrogenase will lead to this. There is a double bond. Oh. Now, in this side, you can say this is formation of this. This is 7 OHP. Now, this is, you can see the hydroxylation at 21 position, then hydroxylation at 11th position and 21 position. So this will lead to cortisol. This is the molecule of cortisol. So in cortisol, you will see the hydroxylation at 17 position and then 11. But in aldosterone synthesis, you will not see 17. So difference between aldosterone and cortisol, just remember 17 hydroxylase, here 18 hydroxylase, here 17 hydroxylase. So you know the feedback regulation. If there is no production of cortisol, so you know if cortisol is low, so what will happen? ACTH will be high. ACTH will be high. You know this feedback. So if ACTH is high, you know hyperpigmentation. It will cause hyperpigmentation. So you can see this here, everything disorder. You can see if there is, like if there is blockade here, if this is low, cortisol is low, what will happen? Because of low cortisol, it will cause hyperpigmentation because of ACTH is very high. Because of high ACTH, it will cause this. And this can lead to high ACTH, can lead to normal or normal cortisol. But high ACTH means primary cortisol deficiency. And then what is the problem? Because of this, there will be virilization. When this is blocked, this will be high. When this is blocked, in this condition, if this is blocked, this 2 is blocked, what will happen? So the presentation related to this, you can see virilization will be there when 21 hydroxylase is deficiency. When this is low, this actually, there are 2 types of 11 hydroxylase. See, 11 hydroxylase, this 11 hydroxylase is deficient. These are 2 different type of 11 hydroxylase. So if there is blockade here, so there will be what? Just tell me what will be there. If you block here, what will be there? Let's take it as exercise. Tell me, if you block here, what will happen? Sonia, you are the only Sonia, and who else is there? Please, Pascaline, please try to tell me. If 21. Yes?
Corticoids.
Sex corticoid will be very high. This 7 OHP will be very high and sex corticoid will be very high. What is the presentation related to sex corticoid? Virilization. So in such condition, you will see if there is 21 hydroxylase deficiency, there will be virilization will be there. And at the same time, this will be deficient. Cortisol will be deficient. So what will be the presentation related to this deficiency? I am focusing on this because this is the most important. So what will be the presentation related to this? The presentation related to this deficiency of this and this, both are deficient. What will be presentation? This will lead to hyperpigmentation. And then here, because of this deficiency, there will be salt wasting, low aldosterone, high renin, low sodium, high potassium, acidosis, and hypotension because of this deficiency. So you can understand when 21 hydroxylase is deficient, this is high because of this virilization plus there can be salt wasting, and then hyperpigmentation. Understand this, both salt wasting and hyperpigmentation. So we will see this 3 type of disorder. For this 3 type of disorder, I will give you very easy to memorize tricks. So you can see in 95% of cases, the deficiency is 21 alpha hydroxylase. That is why this is most important. Other 5% is formed by this 17 alpha hydroxylase and 11 alpha hydroxylase. 5% is constituted by these 2 disorder. So here you can see when you say 20, the number 20 is T. So you can understand this testosterone related hormone is high. Sex corticoid is high. Not only testosterone, other sex corticoid are high. So what will happen? In 21 alpha hydroxylase, virilization. And if one is high, other will be low. Salt, just remember testosterone and salt. So salt will be low. In 17, 7 for salt. So S for salt. So salt will be high and then testosterone is low. And 11 alpha hydroxylase. 11 means 2 and 1 and 1. So you can put here double arrow. You can put here like this. So it will become double arrow. So both are high in 11 alpha hydroxylase. So this is a very powerful trick to you can remember, and you can differentiate different types of congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Now let's see this. So what you will see in this question? In question, you will see this type of molecule name. Okay, this type of molecule name. Now you can see, you can correlate this chart with this table. So this table with this table. So you can see in 21 alpha hydroxylase, 21 hydroxylase, what happens is your testosterone is high, means androgens are high. What are androgens? Androgens, you can see these are androgens. 17 containing molecule, because 17 does not have any problem. So these are 17 ketosteroid, and these are 17 ketogenic steroid. So 17 will be high. 17 containing molecule will be high in such condition. So ketosteroid and ketogenic steroid, will be high here. So this part will be high. DHEA and androstenedione will be high, especially androstenedione will be high. Now we can see androstenedione is a virilizing sex corticoid. So you can see this sex corticoid, these are 17. If you somewhere you will find 17 containing molecule will be high. All 17 containing molecule will be high. So elevated, elevated, elevated. This will be high. And then salt will be depressed. So you can see these are the salt-like molecule. Other than 17, these are salt-like molecule. Okay, these are salt-like molecule. This will be depressed, depressed, depressed. Okay, and this is corticosteroid. CS means corticosteroid. This is steroid. So for try to differentiate this. This is corticosteroid. Steroid will be low. Both this aldosterone and cortisol will be low. Depressed, depressed, depressed. Now let's come to this 11 beta hydroxylase. So let's compare this with this. So if this 11 is deficient, here is this 11. Okay, this is 11B1. This is 11B1. Okay, this enzyme is 11B1. So if this is absent, what will happen? Tell me now. You tell me. If this is not there, what will happen?
There will be low cortisol.
Low cortisol, great. And then?
Hyperpigmentation.
Yes, hyperpigmentation. And then what else? What about this?
Yeah, it will increase.
It will increase. What about this?
Sir, I don't see you. Okay.
What about this? This will increase if this is deficient. This will increase. And this, what about this?
Aldosterone would also decrease. It's the same increase.
It will also increase because 11 hydroxylase is different from this 11 hydroxylase. Okay? This 11 hydroxylase is deficient. This 11 hydroxylase is deficient. This is cytochrome 11B1 is this enzyme. Okay, understand this. 11 CYP 11B1 is this enzyme, not this enzyme. This is different from this. Okay, so this is deficient. This actually 11 is actually integral part of this only. I will tell you very important thing. So this 11 is actually, these are very composite. Once the enzyme, this molecule go through this 11, it will also go through this also. So this and these two are very different. Okay, so I have marked the start, but this is the deficient one. Remember this. So if this is deficient, what will happen now? You can understand. This will increase and this will increase. So if you remember this tuning fork, this handle of tuning fork represent 17 alpha hydroxylase. This base of this tuning fork represent 21 alpha hydroxylase. One handle represents this cortisol part represent 11 alpha hydroxylase that is deficient. This is not deficient. This is deficient. So you will remember everything. So both will rise. Okay, this will rise and this will rise. So in addition this hypotension, In 11, there will be hypertension. Hypertension in 11. In 11, hydroxylase deficiency. So you can see, you can remember, memorize that this tuning fork image, and then you can picturize everything here. So 11 beta hydroxylase, this is beta hydroxylase here. You can see this is beta. B1 is beta hydroxylase. This is beta hydroxylase. It's deficient. So this 11 beta hydroxylase deficiency will cause elevated both sex steroid and then aldosterone like molecule. So let's say this sex steroid, this 11 all are sex steroid. So this is sex, this is elevated. Now 11 here you can see this is ketogenic, ketoesteroid. This is corticosteroid. CS means corticosteroid. This is actually also, this is corticosteroid. So you can see this is also seen to be raised, but without 11 hydroxylated, because 11 will not be put here. This will be 17. Okay, 11 will not be here. So it is devoid of 11 hydroxylation. So this will, all 17 will rise. All 17 will rise here. So 17 generally designate what? It designate sex corticoid. Now towards aldosterone, you can see corticosteroid, this is depressed. Corticosteroid depressed, and this is high. All other things are high. Only corticosteroid is depressed. So these are the problem. Now you can see here in 17 alpha hydroxylase. Let's see this condition. Tell me, if this is not there, what will happen now?
It will be high aldosterone.
So aldosterone will be high. What about this and this?
Sex corticoid and cortisol will be low.
Yes, both will be low. Cortisol and sex corticoid will be low. So salt, only salt is high, sex testosterone is low here. So you can now understand from this, only this aldosterone is high. So aldosterone is high, so this 17, all 17 will be low here. Only this corticosterone, docosa, this des 11 hydroxy cortisol. Des means without 11 hydroxylase. So this without 11 hydroxylase, and this other, this aldosterone, this is elevated here, and other aldosterone will also be elevated. So this is used as marker, not direct aldosterone. This is used as marker. That is why this is written. So this will be high here. So this will be high here in 17, and this all are depressed. So you can, if you correlate with this, if you put this into your picture, into your imagination, and if you think about it, you will be able to think about this disorder easily, and you will never be confused. What you have to do, you have to think. Now you can see here also the presentation is also mentioned here. In such condition, 21 hydroxylase deficiency in female. Okay, so ambiguous genitalia will happen in female. Here also in female, because in both condition, what will happen? Testosterone or androgens are high. So that is why in female androgen is high. So what will happen? Female growth of female genitalia will be obstructed because of androgen production in intrauterine life only. So therefore you can see here, this is the problem here. You can see in boy, because the boy has overdose of sex corticoid in both of this. So in boy there will be precocious puberty. Here in 17 alpha hydroxylase is not related to, it is only related to salt. There is no high amount of sex corticoid. That is why you will not see here. Rather, the maturity is very prolonged. Okay, but female will have maturity, but male will have more problem here. Okay, so male has ambiguous genitalia, low androgen. Androgen is low. So male will try to express female genitalia. So understand the presentation, everything you will understand from this chart. Salt plus hypertension. Hypertension, you know, 11 both. So 11 is, hypertension is related to 11. Here is no hypertension. Here also you will see in here, because you will see here, because of this deficiency, there will be very high. So here also you will see hypertension. Here, no hypertension, rather hypotension. So you can understand from this chart. If you correlate this chart with this, you will understand everything. Now let's talk about the case. So 15-year-old female patient was born with genital ambiguity. She was brought up as a boy. She is 146 centimeter in height, with pubic hair, vagina, and bilateral unpalpable testes. Unpalpable testes, very important. Karyotype is female karyotype. Laboratory examination showed a high value of this 17-hydroxyprogesterone. Okay, so this is means whenever you see, just remember this is sex corticoid, testosterone, related to testosterone. So testosterone is high. And then at uterus with endometrial lining was found USG examination, and MRI examination showed uterus and phallus. So uterus is also rudimentary. It is not the very well developed. Rudimentary type uterus and phallus are there. Increased bilateral adrenal gland consistent with congenital hyperplasia. Congenital adrenal hyperplasia. So adrenal gland was large. Bone age study was consistent with 18-year-old male. Okay, so bone age, so you can see 15-year-old, but bone is 18-year-old. So premature aging. So you can see precocious puberty type of thing you can see here. 2, because bone growth is more because of this testosterone like means sex corticoid. 2 orifices were found on endourology examination, external urethral orifice and a vaginal with intact bladder structure. Psychiatric examination concluded that she had an internal conflict due to all examination being directed to female gender. So she has more predisposition to prefer female gender. So she still has tendency to choose female gender. Okay, so as chromosome said. Diagnosis is on actually this. What is the case with what do you actually what might be the diagnosis? Among these 3, correlate with this.
Could she have 21 alpha?
21.
Yes, big. Yes, good. Everybody is trying to answer. So yes, what might be the deficiency? You can see, you can match this with this. Okay, 17-hydroxyprogesterone. This molecule is high. Here is this molecule is high. So what would you expect? So this deficiency is not there. There might be deficiency of this or this or this. Okay. Because this is female. This is female. Okay, very simple. Ambiguous genitalia female, because sex corticoid is high in this too. So 11 means both are high. Here testosterone is high. So 1 here 1. You can remember this last one part. So this both have testosterone high, and female is affected. Female has ambiguous genitalia. So among these 2, one will be the disorder. One of this will be the disorder, and this is the most common. So try to go for this. 21 hydroxylase deficiency is the condition. This case is case of 21 hydroxylase deficiency. Now I will explain it, this 21 hydroxylase deficiency, in a lot more detail. So you can see, so diagnosis actually is based on this, is very important test. 17-OHP hydroxyprogesterone is very important test. Along with that, you do other tests: testosterone, DHEA, aldosterone, cortisol. We have seen the test, panel of tests. These are the panel of tests. I have taken this snapshot from a very important textbook. The textbook is like laboratory, medical biochemistry. Okay. So you can see this. So this is a 17-OHP becomes a very cornerstone of the differentiating factor. When this is above this 300, generally it is actually, if it is more than 300, it is always classical congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Okay, understood? And which other case has the high? Other case will have this 11 will have high. 11 hydroxylase will have the level of this 17-OHP between 6 to this. Okay, this is nanomole per liter. Remember this, nanomole, and this is nanogram. In question, it is given in nanogram. So you can see this is more than, in question, this is more than 300 nanomole per liter. Okay, so therefore this is actually, and here nanomole. So in 200 to 100 nanometer per ml is 11 alpha hydroxylase. Because 11, if you see in 11, let's see, I'll tell you this. What is this? If you see in 11 alpha hydroxylase deficiency, you will see it has got two pathways to go. One pathway here and other pathway here. 11 has two pathways, two choices. And that is why say this 11, this compound will be between 2 to, you can see 100 nano more. What is nanomole per ml? What is this? So it is nanogram per ml. Nanogram per ml. Nanogram per ml. The concentration is between this. But if the whole of this pathway is blocked, so there is only one pathway. So this 17-OHP will try to become very high in 21 alpha hydroxylase, 21 hydroxylase deficiency. Therefore, the concentration of 17-OHP will be very high in such condition. Nanogram per ml. So that is the differentiating point between these two. We had to differentiate between this and 11, this and this, because ambiguous genitalia of female happens in when testosterone like hormone is high. When androgen is high, then only ambiguous genitalia happens in female. Opposite is true. When this testosterone is not there, so boy will have ambiguous genitalia. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you understood this differentiation, why it is 21 alpha hydroxylase, 21 hydroxylase deficiency. Alpha, I am telling always, 21 hydroxylase deficiency. Did you understand? Okay. So this is 21 hydroxylase deficiency. The most common, 95% is 21 hydroxylase deficiency. Whenever you see ambiguous genitalia in female, always it can be either because of 21 or 11. Okay, 1 at the back. So if you see in male ambiguous genitalia, it is because of 17. Okay, it is because of 17. Okay, so you can see this picture. This is the picture of this case related. You can see ambiguous genitalia here in female. So palpable, non-palpable testis. So there will be growth of this phallus, testis, sorry, growth of this testis, and this clitoris, enlarged clitoris. And in USG also there will be common urogenital sinus. Okay, there will be sinus. urogenital sinus will be there, common, okay? And so these are the gonads not palpable. You can see these are the stages of virilization in female. So stage 1, stage 2, stage, you can go through it. So these are virilization stages in female. Now this 21 congenital adrenal hyperplasia, we can divide into these two categories. We have already done. One is classical, other is non-classical. So this classical congenital adrenal hyperplasia is because of 21 alpha hydroxylase. Okay. So 21 I keep on telling 21 alpha. It is not 21 alpha. It is 21 hydroxylase. Okay. So remember that. 11 beta hydroxylase. Sorry, it is alpha. Yes. Alpha is written there. Anyway, alpha, and this is 21 beta. Okay. So consider this as correct. Correctly, 21 hydroxylase. Remember 21 hydroxylase, 21 beta hydroxylase, and then 17 alpha hydroxylase. So this is the correct. Replace this with okay. 21 hydroxylase, because alpha cannot be written. Why? I will tell you why. Because see, this is side chain, okay? 21 number carbon is side chain, and alpha beta happens only in ring, and therefore you cannot write alpha beta. Okay, this is alpha, you cannot write alpha beta. So this is plain 21 hydroxylase, and this is beta, and this is alpha. Yes, this is alpha. So let's remember. Make it beta. This is alpha. Yes, this is not alpha. Okay, 21 hydroxylase deficiency, 17 alpha hydroxylase. Now we can see this classical congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Salt, it is of two types. One is salt wasting, other is virilizing form. What does it means? Salt wasting, this is very high deficiency of this. I will go again here. This is of two types. Now I'll tell you, if this 21 hydroxylase is completely deficient, what will happen? There will be formation of this sex corticoid will be high, and there will be salt wasting. You know what are the presentation? I have told salt wasting, and then salt wasting, aldosterone will be low, renin will be high. So renin can be a test for this. Okay, sodium will be low, and these are the tests. You can see laboratory test. So hypertension, blood pressure will be low. So this is salt wasting, and this can be lethal if this is completely absent. But normally this is not completely absent. 1 to 2% activity is there. So you know, only 1 to 2% activity is sufficient for formation of this aldosterone. So aldosterone will be sufficient. Aldosterone required for our body will be sufficient. Maybe number of cell will be more. Hyperplasia, the adrenal will become hyperplastic. Adrenal mass will become low, high, and then what will happen? Because of increase in adrenal mass, it will compensate for this aldosterone. The adrenal mass will compensate for. The more adrenal mass will secrete, there was, let's say 10 cell before. This cell become 100, and 10 cell will be forming this one. So ultimately there will be formation of 10. So this is how this adrenal hyperplasia will compensate for this normal aldosterone. So aldosterone in such condition, whenever there is 1 to 2%, there will be normal aldosterone level. Okay, because of hyperplasia. And cortisol will also be normal almost. So patient will live fairly normal life. But because there is obstruction here, so what will happen? The pathway divert here. So there will be more sex corticoid. Anyway, you cannot prevent virilization. So this condition where there is presence of 1 to 2% of this 21 hydroxylase, this is called simple virilizing, because virilization is only present. Simple virilizing form. When there is 100% absent, completely absent. So this is called salt wasting type. So did you understand the difference between simple virilizing and salt wasting?
Yes, sir.
So this is more important, okay? 21 hydroxylase deficiency, just focus on 21 hydroxylase deficiency. So you can see this 90 to 95%. And this is because of 1 to 2% activity is written. So this is simple virilizing. The case we saw is simple virilizing. This is more common than salt wasting. Salt wasting can be fatal. The salt wasting can be fatal in baby only. It will not progress through life. After you diagnose, you supplement with aldosterone, then baby can progress through life. Otherwise, baby can die because of dehydration, hypotension. Now, this is non-classical congenital adrenal hyperplasia. We have already discussed here non-classical. So we will not talk more about this non-classical. 11, the virilization you will see in female, and 17 in male. So this is the big difference here. You'll see. And generally, patient does not know about this non-classical. Non-classical are very benign. Very benign. People actually, the diagnosis happens in adulthood like that. Childhood, after childhood, adulthood, the patient came to know about this deficiency. So this is the most deadly, and then this is expressed. So understand this. This is, you can go through congenital classical, congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Salt wasting. Salt wasting will have complete deficiency of 21 hydroxylase. 21 hydroxylase complete deficiency. In such condition, you know that hypotension will be there, plus obviously the presentation of virilization will be there. So hypotension will be there, salt crisis, poor feeding, sepsis, diagnosis. Delayed diagnosis will lead to mortality. So this is very important. Now you can see this classical congenital adrenal hyperplasia, simple virilizing, the progress through age, because you know patient baby can die in early. So this type of patient you will not see. You will see in very newborn infant. If you don't treat, the baby can die. But if you see this condition, the patient may not present in the baby, and when well-grown patient can come with ambiguous genitalia. Okay, and actually ambiguous genitalia can be present from the birth only. Okay, so it can be diagnosed in birth also, and you can see later also. But this case only after birth. So this is the big difference. So neonate, you'll have to diagnose this. Even if it is now, you can see such patients in neonate when the hospital delivery, in condition of hospital delivery. If the delivery happens elsewhere, these days all delivery happens in hospital. So you can see in children only, in neonate only. You can diagnose in neonate also. And some of the patient can come in adulthood also with this complaint. So as we have discussed this case here. Now this is the same case. So you can see congenital, this clitoris enlargement, labial fusion, sexual ambiguity, and this gender identity problem is there. So male grown as, you consider, you have seen the case. So she has predilection towards female sex, but she was grown as male. So you can see the conflict will be there, gender conflict will be there. So inappropriate sex assignment. So this precocious pseudo puberty in male, and premature epiphyseal closure. Epiphyseal closure, we have seen the age was 15, but the bone age was 18, because premature fusion of the epiphysis. So that this is responsible for this short height. You can notice this short height because of premature epiphyseal closure. Congenital, non-classical congenital, one of the common autosomal recessive. Okay, non-classical congenital hyperplasia happens late onset. So among autosomal recessive disorder, this can be common. So without neonatal genital ambiguity generally. Okay, variable degree of postnatal androgen excess, hypertension, hypertension in 11, and then you can see 17 will also lead to hypertension. Here you can see this will also lead to hypertension. And when this is deficient, this will also lead to hypertension. So non-classical is related to hypertension and classical related to hypotension. This is also a very important differentiation. Hypertension, clinical features in childhood, embryogenesis, premature. So we have discussed this here nicely. Okay. Generally, ambiguity is not present. I told you, very benign type of problem will be there in such conditions. So diagnosis, sometimes people live without diagnosis. In adult age, the diagnosis happens, and severity, based on severity, you will be able to diagnose earlier or later. Hypertension is the problem in non-classical test. So you will diagnose this condition through this renin. OHP is high, renin and OHP. You do test renin test and OHP is high in classical. OHP is high in classical, and renin is also high in classical as a result of feedback. Because aldosterone is not there, this renin will be high. So newborn with sex ambiguity is also add to diagnosis. Okay, later life, sexual precocity, and then this PCO like polycystic ovary type phenotype you will see because of high DHEA testosterone. So this is very important. Postnatal screening we do for this molecule 17-OHP. Postnatal screening is done. We measure this molecule, and based on that we actually screen congenital hyperplasia. You understood? This is very important. This molecule I have been focusing on OHP.